Good evening, everybody. How are you? How is everybody out in Clayland? Who's ready for Christmas? Who's not ready for Christmas? Who's ready for other holidays? I can tell you I am not. It was just a couple short weeks ago I realized that the holidays were in a couple short weeks. So we're behind. Nothing's been done as far as holidays go, but that's okay. Um, Oops, thought my phone was off. That would be my grandson. Sorry, that was my grandson. Thank you, I love you, he says. He is 17. So, how many of you get a text message from your 17-year-old senior in high school already applied college for next year? How many of you get a text message? Thank you, I love you. I'm so excited. He is such a good kid. So, hey, Vicki, Renee, Kathy, Edie. Oh, let me get back to Facebook so I can see. Whoops, there goes. And there goes my daughter, and that's not my grandson's. Okay. And there goes my daughter texting me. She knows I'm going live. So we had a bit of an incident. I thought I was going to be late getting on. As you know, we live in the country. And I mean, the back roads, the country. Well, I know it's the time of year where everybody is getting lots of packages that they've ordered online, which, here goes another reason we probably should be getting ourselves up and going to the store instead of ordering online. So I'm guilty. So this man, not even a kid, a man, has been riding his 10-speed around, you can't call it a block because it's not a block, but it's a mile maybe, that goes from the main road down and around the corner of our road up by the rock pit. You can go back down to hit that main road again. What is that loop? Is that loop about a mile?
Yeah.
So it's about a mile. Anyway, Mr. Wilson was out front and saw this man pull over to the mailbox that used to be our property that we sold several years ago, and grab the packages that were sitting there by the mailbox, stick them under his arm, and start pedaling away. Well, Mr. Wilson yelled at him and went hobbling out there with his bad leg. And the guy threw the packages down and kept going. This is how the country works. So while he was running down the road chasing the guy, my daughter, who lives on the property next door and her office faces the front road, saw this transpire, called me, said, "You need to get out there." He's running down the road after this. So I jumped in the truck and ran down. By that time, Mr. Wilson was coming back. I'm like, "What's going on?" And he told me, and I'm going after him. And I take off in the truck. And I'm flying down the road, catching this guy on this bike. And I pull up beside him, and I have my phone sticking out the window. And as I pull up beside him, of course, he had no idea. He just probably thought it was a car coming, right? I pull up beside him. He looks up, and I go, "Click. You're in trouble, buddy. I just took your picture, and I'm calling the police." He's like, "I don't want no trouble." I'm like, "But you just made trouble. You stole those packages." So anyway, and I just got off the phone with the sheriff's office, so I thought I was going to be late. But that's how our day has gone. Scott and Kristen called Sean and let them know and sent them the picture, and but they didn't ask if he lived there or anything, so just to keep it cool. Anyway, so even in the country, thieves have gotten so bold. So I guess the moral of the story is, even in the country, we're not safe. But if you're ordering stuff and getting lots of packages delivered, man, those thieves are out hot and heavy. So be careful, be careful, be careful. Make sure if you're not going to be home, you've got somebody. We've got dogs. My daughter's got a big dog. We've got other protection. We live in the country. But just be careful out there. It's craziness, you guys. Absolutely craziness. Let me get back on here so I can see who has been chatting. Okay. I haven't made anything for the holidays. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We are busting it. I got a dog back there barking. We have been busting it trying to get these orders done. Hey, Dale, can you do something with Tuck? And so, as some updates, thanks for getting this thief to justice. Oh yeah, I got that photo up close and personal. I mean, I'm pulling up beside the guy, and he's not 3 feet, 4 feet from the truck. Like I said, he had no idea it was somebody that had just known what was going on. He just thought a car was coming. And so when he looked up, I'm hanging out the truck, and I'm like, snap, busted. And so I went on down to the end of the road, turned around, and as I came back, he saw me coming. So he takes his hood and do I have a hood? Oh, I have a hood. So he takes his hood and he goes like this, and he's riding his bicycle with his hood like that. And I'm thinking, oh, it would serve you right to crash, buddy. But anyway, oh, there, my camera got blurry. Anyway, so I did talk to the sheriff's department, and then they called me back. And you know what's sad is they just don't really act like it's any big deal. Oh, well, just another package thief. Well, we've got 100,000 of them, so not much we can do. He did say he was going to put extra patrol. Okay, again, we live out in the country, so how much patrolling? But we'll find out. We'll see. Anyway, so back to quick updates on orders. So we are getting there. We what's today? Monday. No, Tuesday. Today's Tuesday. Tells you how we've been working. Okay, today is Tuesday. We are really rocking and rolling now. So the project boxes they've already been going out. Any founders that I have on, as we get to your order, we're putting the founders box in, and there's been a bunch of those went out this past week, yesterday as well. And the project boxes, thieves have no lives. You are correct. I mean, if they would just work at a job like they work at thieving, my goodness. Oh, Amanda, you need to make one of the poop boxes. Oh my God. Do you know that's exactly what I said? I said, did you see Amanda's comment, Dale? That's exactly what I said. My daughter was standing at her fence. We were over there, and I said, we need to go stick a box over there with doggy diarrhea. And she says, and glitter. And I'm like, what does the glitter do? She goes, it's just annoying. It gets all over, and glitter goes everywhere. And I said, oh, great, doggy diarrhea and glitter. Yep, that was one of the things I said too. That's too funny. Well, Rhonda, we don't really have a neighborhood. Because when you come off the road, there's one house that sits back, and it's on 20 some acres. And then you've got the people who we sold the property to, but they're way in the back. Then you got my daughter and myself. And then it goes around the corner, and there's only a couple houses up that road, but they all sit like way, way back. So there's no real neighborhood here. But the 3 houses here, the people in the back of my daughters and ours, most people around here know we're like all connected, and they don't jack with us, but this guy obviously didn't, and he barked up the wrong tree because I chased him down in the truck. Probably a bad thing to do in the country because most people carry guns. And if he lives where we're thinking he lives, those people are shooting all the time, all during the night and everything. It's terrible, terrible, terrible. Anyway, so back to orders. So we are busting it on orders because we have to hurry up and get stuff ready for ClayCon as well. But Fander's boxes are going out. October boxes are going out. When we were getting behind with taking care of Mr. Wilson's uncle and then him passing and all of that, and that taking care of him took a lot of time away from the business. And when we started feeling like we were getting too far behind, I made this mistake of saying, okay, we are behind, so in 2 weeks we're going to stop taking orders. Well, we did not. And in fact, I did shorten that. I ended up shortening it by several days, because when I started looking at orders and seeing what was happening, I was like, oh my God, we just dug a bigger hole. Love the orders, guys. Don't get me wrong, but did not anticipate the amount of orders that we got when I said I was going to shut down till the first of the year. I just felt I should give you a notice and not just say, oh, shut down until, blah, blah. I did not know I would get hit as hard as I did. I'm thankful. Don't get me wrong, especially since this is the worst time of year you could shut your business down. But in fairness, I felt it was the right thing to do. But we are down to 250 orders now. And those are pumping out. Those are going to be pumping out a whole lot faster. So we hope to have those all done. What, Mr. Wilson? 2 weeks, 3 weeks to be finished? Mr. Wilson! Oh, I think he went back out. Oh, what? Did you hear my question? Probably within the next 2, but probably 3. He says probably within the... Huh? Depends on how much glue up's in there. Probably within the next 2-3 weeks at the most, we should have all the orders done complete, which gives us 3 weeks to bust it to get stuff ready for ClayCon. And we have some really fun stuff. When we get to the point we can't stand on our feet anymore, we'll go sit on the computer and design new things. And some of the things that we're working on, I'm going to start sending out videos, posts, and things so that you guys can see some of the stuff that's going to be coming to ClayCon. Now, for those of you that aren't going to ClayCon, oh, I'm so sorry. A, I won't get to see you, and B, you won't get to get the new product. That won't be available until after we get back from ClayCon and take care of... Don't you start with me, bird. And take care of the orders that we get at ClayCon. If there's things people want that we don't have with us, we're going to take care of those orders. Then we're going to open up the website. That's our plan. I do not ever want to get in the hole we were just in. I did not like it, Sam. I did not like green eggs and ham. I hated it. Mr. Wilson and I haven't been getting any sleep. It's been awful. So do not let that deter you from ordering in the future. I'm just going to keep a better eye on it and not let it get that. Well, it would have never gotten that far out of hand if we weren't taking care of his uncle. But we'd do it again. All right. So one of the things, hey, Miss Debbie Bradbury, you have got to come up here and play in the studio. She's an old glassworking buddy of mine. And I'm trying to get her to come and do clay. You need to come up here, Debbie. All right. So I'm going to show you one of the things I'm working on that I have some adjustments to do on it. You'll probably figure out what those are, but they'll be perfect by the time we get to ClayCon. And today, you're actually going to see my experiment, my trial run of how it works, or what it would actually look like, because it was straight off the machine, and it was the first run of clay. But do I have Carol Toomey on? Carol Toomey, if you're on, please wave your hand. I have had lots of questions on how do I work with these deep dish forms, because my clay folds, or I rip it, or I stretch it, or whatever. So I did a video tonight that is going to show you this new shape. It's a shape that's very different. You'll see what I mean in a minute, but it's also showing how to deal with the deeper forms, because this one is 1, 2, 3, 4 forms deep. It's got our signature rounded bottoms that we've been doing for 3 years that we created. Again, it's 4. I'm looking at it over here if you're wondering what I'm doing. 1, 2, 3. It is 4 deep, rounded bottoms, has our bowling ball handles on it. By the way, on our big, those Western buckle forms, who said that? Stacy, don't remind me. We're working. Yes, I know. Oh, yes. So we have to be done with orders in 2 weeks. So we have 2 weeks. Oh, we'll have stuff. We will have stuff. Anyway, on like our Western buckle, the long forms, or any long forms, we're actually putting an extra handle, because when I went to pull that up, I twisted my arm and I'm like, ooh, we better add these on both ends. So we're going to do that. But I'm going to show you, let me show you the first video, because I don't want to sit here and go through showing you this form when I turn around and talk about it and show you the same thing. At least you laughed inside behind the panic. Could you see the panic? All right. One of my dogs is in here, and why don't you put the dogs out for a minute? I think one of them has to potty. No. One of the girls has to go potty. I can smell. Okay, so let me start this first video real quick. Welcome to another live, or a recorded, if you will, a recorded live. So I just wanted to jump on, and I wanted to show you one of the new items that we will have available for you at ClayCon West. How many are going to ClayCon West? So I call this my Ron salad bowl. That's a story for another day, but it is very different, very unique. For instance, look at the shape of this, how it goes out. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but the sides, they are not just straight or up and down, but they actually curve. They actually curve. Can you see? The whole thing actually curves. See that whole curve? Wait till you see this in clay. It is another new Sharon Hoppy creative concoction that I come up with, and then I send it out. I create a template, I create the idea, and then I send it out to the shop to Mr. Wilson and say, can you make me this? And he does. It's so awesome. We are such a team. All right. I am going to get my banding wheel set up, get my template and form on it, and then I'm going to bring clay over. The key to these forms, the key to this is a large slab that you can just plop right over the top of this. That helps minimize the folds. And so you can just flop this big slab of clay over your form with your template and smooth it down and cut around, and you're done. So if you have texture, you're not cutting into the texture or any of that kind of stuff. It is amazing. So let me get set up and I'll be right back. Okay, so let me grab this. So let's see. Wish I could go to ClayCon. I wish everybody could be there. Spherical square. Christina, no, it's not it's not a spherical square because each, I'm trying to get my fingers in the hole. Each side, these are sharper than I want them to be. So we're redesigning to take the sharpness off these corners. But what I can't get an angle on is where you can see that they roll, or it curves. Can you see? Maybe that way. So it curves out and it curves out. So it's got all four curves where you see these things, it curves out. So it's not a straight and it's not an angle, but it's an actual curve. Do you see the curve now? See how that curves up? And again, this is going to be gone, or virtually gone. I didn't like how pokey it was, but it was the first attempt. So ClayCon is in St. George, Utah. That's where it is every year. St. George, Utah. So anyway, let's put this in some clay. And again, the reason I wanted to show this tonight is because I've had several people ask, well, how on these forms? I mean, look at the depth of this. This is, while you're watching the video, I will go get my tape measure so we can measure the complete height of this. But the key to these big forms is the bigger clay. The bigger slabs that you can plop over it so it doesn't fold and ruffle. And then once you get adept at working with these forms and the height on the sides, then you can start making your slabs smaller because you'll have the hang of it. There is a bit of a learning curve, but I will tell you it is so worth it. So let's go to this next video. Here we are. I have my lip template, which, as you can see, these curved outer edges. It's called my Ron salad. And then again, can you see the bowing curved out? And I'm going to put this right on top. And look at that. Oh. Let's not forget the banding wheel that doesn't fall off. You can spin it however much you want. It's going to stay centered. It's not going to fly off. Amazing. A hand builder's dream. It's a must-have. We will have these available that fit some of the standard banding wheels, Shimpo, Bailey, I believe, at ClayCon. All right, so here we go. Let me move my glass out of the way so that I don't wear my tea. And I'm gonna bring my clay. I have this slab of clay right here. It's right at about 1/4 inch, and it's big. So I'm gonna plop this down over it, and then what I want to do is I want to as quickly as possible cut off some of the overhang so it doesn't stretch. Although our signature rounded bottoms, it doesn't tend to crack. So that's perfect. Okay, so let me grab this clay. I'm going to reach around. I'm going to plop right over here. See how big this slab is? And I'm just gonna, if I wanted, I could do this. Let me do this. I'm gonna just kind of plop it. See how that works? And then lift and push, and that'll get rid of these few little wrinkles that we have here. Lift and push. And I have the wrinkles mostly out. So what I want to do is I want to go around this outer edge and get rid of this excess, just so it's not stretching the clay on me. And just make sure you stay kind of on the end of your banding wheel. You don't want to cut that too short. Okay. So look at that already. So we're just going to kind of smooth this. I kind of like smooth it down and up with my hands just to get started. And I'm not, you can see I'm not putting a bunch of fingerprints or anything in it. You can see already that that shape's out there. It's so gorgeous. Okay. I'm going to get my, where'd my, well, my towels usually, oh, I set stuff on it. Don't fall. Don't fall. Okay. I needed my towel here. Okay. I'm going to slightly dip my little red rib, and I'm going to get to swooping. So what I want to do first is just kind of swoop this in place. Get it swooped down there in place. That little lip template. Again, the difference between a lip template and a rim template, the lip mimics the exact shape of the form and only sticks out a little 1/4 of an inch to give you just a little tiny edge on the outside. A rim template, on the other hand, you can mix and match sizes on that to however big you want your rim, but a rim doesn't mimic the shape, but it gives it that fancy edge. And of course, they're interchangeable. You can, if it's kind of a square type shape of a rim, you can put it on any square type shape. I'm not really putting sizes on my templates anymore, or like this template goes with this form and this size, because the beauty of these is they're so interchangeable. If you want an inch, a template, I mean a rim that's like an inch wide, use a bigger template. If you want a template or a rim that's thinner, use a smaller template. So don't get caught up in that the template is only for X form and X size, because get out of the box. We don't need to be in that box. Okay. We don't need to be in the box. Okay, now I did not texture this, though I could have, but I didn't texture this one because this one is for a special person for Christmas, and they wanted special colors on the glaze, and so I did not put a texture, although I'm going to show you some textures that we're going to get at ClayCon, or we're going to have at ClayCon. I'm just really kind of pressing this into the shape. All right. Now, I do, where's my little, I do want to go across the top here, because I do want this to make sure it's hitting the bottom. Woo! That water's been in that bowl a while. I can smell that. Woo woo. Your clay water ever get pretty rank where you're like going, ooh. I just had that ooh moment. All right. Now I'm just gonna, my sponge is pretty wrung out. I'm just gonna kind of get the crumbs off of here, just because it's easier now. You can certainly do this later. I like to, when these get bone dry, I like to lightly sand the outside anyway, so it's nice and finished and smooth. Outside, I do it outside, downwind, and with a mask on even. But if you take your time at this stage, then you have less work later on and a more polished product. Much more polished. But can you see the of the bowl? So I think what I'm going to do is grab my battery powered extruder. I'm going to put a foot on there. But I think what I'm going to do first is cut this excess off. Okay, so I'm going to come in. I'm going to find my template, and I'm going to go right around it like I always do. I mean, it can't get easier than that, can it? Look at the shape of that. Okay, so now I just want to come in and clean this up a little because I can see it, and I can run this right along the edge of that template and really clean all the little crumbs off so that when it comes to sponging later, piece of cake. Barely any sponging. If you could see, can you see how clean that is along that template? You can't do that from a foam template. There. I've got that. Perfect. Oh, missed right here. There. So I can look around here and I can see, golly, I don't even have anymore. I don't even have a little crumb. I mean, that is just perfect around there. All right. So let me take my little sponge and go around this bottom edge. And, you know, if you filled this bowl up with salad and used meat as a side dish instead of the main dish, your grocery bill will be better, your health will be better. That's what we're trying to do. All right. Now, I keep plastic under here. So I'm going to take that plastic off. And I have my little bitty braid. And I push in to make sure that the clay is still soft in there. Okay, so let me explain something. On these battery-powered extruders, they are much stronger than our hands, if you know what I mean. If we were just pumping this with our hands, we would feel when our plunger got to the end and we were at the end. But just holding the button, we can't necessarily feel that. So if you're using battery powered and you're using our dies, these are acrylic. They're strong, but they're not as strong as a battery powered extruder. So you need to pay attention, and watch. When you get down here, then stop. Don't just keep holding the button until it comes clear out the end and your plunger crushes this thing in 5 or 6 pieces, because it will, because it's stronger than your hand. Okay, I like to set mine on the table and let it come out. I think that's all I need. That's way more than what I need. Now, again, because I'm not going to use it again for a while. So I unscrew the cap. I put my folded plastic there. And then I screw the cap. I have to do it on my lap. And then I screw the cap back on there really tight. And then I just hang it on my chair. It's easy to reach. It's out of my way. And it's ready whenever I am. All right. So this is for a guy. And I think I will braid this. And you've seen me braid this before. When I braid it, I simply twist my hands in opposite directions. But I'm going to do a big, pretty loose braid on this one. And then I like to plop it down on my table. Oops. I plopped my computer. Okay. And I plop it like that so that when I flip it over, you see how flat that is on the bottom because I want a good connection here, right? So I'm going to take my serrated rib and I'm just going to dip it in the water and I'm going to come, and if you'll notice, I want a good connection and I want those excess lines out. So I'll show this in case you can't see this. I'm really scoring this. See, it's flat and you can't see any of the braid on there. And now I'm just going to come right around here. Whoops, hitting my clay over there. Following this shape as best as I can. Whoops, I don't want to go out that far, but that's okay. If you go out too far, we'll just take those extra pieces off. Okay. Now I just use a craft brush and I tend to use my water because it tends to be slippy at the bottom anyway. But this is super fresh clay. So I'm simply gonna wet this. And again, it's so wet that it's gonna stick anyway. And I'm gonna water this as well. All right. I know that was more than I needed. So this is still more than I need. I'm going to start in the center. I don't want to start on a crack or on a corner. I'm sorry. On a corner. And I'm going to simply put this into the shape that I want it to be. And turn that corner. And I'll just use this. I am coming in at an angle. Gives me more real estate to see how instead of straight, it's at an angle. And then I'm going to score this really well. And I'm going to score under here really well. And now I'm going to take my time and put this together where I get most of the work done now. Get my towel, grab my hands. Okay, so I'm going to bring this in. You can see where my crease is. And look at that for a fun bottom. See what that's looking like? Well, I don't like that side, so I'm going to fix it. There we go. There, like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sponge and I'm just going to lightly go across where I put that together. And blend that in so that you don't see it. And I've shown you this before too. If you messed up that, the little crease from the braid, simply take your rib, put the little crack in there, roll it through, and I kind of go up and down and then go right back over with the sponge. And I just put that line back in between there so people are going, how did you get that in there? And I'm going to do it right here as well. All right, now I'm going to bring my sponge or my craft brush, and I'm just going to come around these edges and get those extra little score lines off. I don't want those on here. Anything extra that's in my way. Just use my banding wheel, knowing that it's not going to slide out of place. And actually going to bring my rib right around. I don't have to worry about my banding wheel. There. Now I'm going to do it on the inside. Come in here. Get this all cleaned out. And you can see in here and see that you're getting a nice clean join. And that's what you want to do. You want to make sure you join it really well. And look at that. Now, if you're really careful, just grab this template. If you're really careful, you can just lightly, I don't want to really flatten that out. I just want to make sure that A, it's pushed down, and B, that it is attached and ready to set up. Now, I'm going to let this sit just as is. Well, let me do this first. Let me put my little stamp of, oh, I did this in there. Oh, I did that. And I'm going to just let this sit, and we'll flip this over in a little while. We'll be back. Okay, so I had some questions. Let's see. Let's see. Doreen, I think it was, said, I wish they'd let people into ClayCon to just shop the vendors and not attend the rest of ClayCon, but I'd have to pay the $100 just to shop. Can't go to the rest. You know, I understand that, and I feel your pain. However, the people that put on ClayCon, or any conference for that matter, that's part of how they can make this happen. That's how they pay for their time, the help's time, the chairs, the tables, the electricity. So, you know, all of that has to be covered as well. So, unfortunately, that's where they get their money to do that, to continue to put this on. Love that blue sponge cloth. What type is it? Oh, so this is what it is. It is a Scotch-Brite absorbent cloth. Absorbs like a sponge, cleans like a cloth. Okay, so they come this size, and then I just cut them down about, I guess I did 2 across, probably 3 up. If anybody's ever watched Sarah Rollins, she uses these, and I decided to try them, and because my sponges end up looking like this. and then I get little sponge particles everywhere. And I haven't had that problem since I started using these. So at this point, I wouldn't go back to that. So Scotch-Brite absorbent counter cloths is what it says. I got them on Amazon. They're from 3M, and there's different colors. I didn't notice that the different colors made any kind of a difference in the cloth, so I just got what they had. So that's that. Rhonda likes to sand hers too. Oh, I just think it makes it so much nicer. Rachel got in late. Which form, size, and depth and templates are okay? These are going to be available at ClayCon. I want you to notice how they curve out. They curve out here. They go like that, but they also curve round this way. So it's not a straight side. It's not an angle side, but it's actually a curved, rounded side. Oops, wrong side. It's actually, it curves out. And these sharper corners, I will be getting rid of most of that. I don't like that, but that was our first rendition by ClayCon. Oh, it's a door slam. By ClayCon, we won't have that hard line. And then it's just got the lip template that matches it, and it is a 4 deep. And so what I did, I wanted to measure it for you. I'm just going to set it up here so maybe you could see it. So I have my tape measure. And the easiest thing for me is to set a template right on top. And it is a full 3 inches. So this is a full 3 inches, which is tall. Now, what I was making this for, this 4 deep is not going to work. I actually need to make it wider. This is 8 inch. So this is 8-ish inches. I really need this one to be about 9.5 and only 2 deep for what I really was planning on using it for, or maybe 3 deep, but the 4 deep is awesome. And then at ClayCon, our bubble bowls, we will have these up to a 12 inch. And I think the 12s, I think they're still 3 deep. But we also have a new rendition of the bubble bowls where these bubble out. They will also bubble like a cereal bowl, like that, if that makes any sense. Those will be available too. I think you guys saw this pin, the triple texture. I also have one that's got the Montana on the top, and the bottom is a different knit. I also will have a pen that is like a twisted knit. That's really cool looking. So let's see, anybody else getting it after ClayCon? Yeah, the bubble bowls are fantastic. You're going to see, if you're at ClayCon, you're going to see there is someone that has the 10. Wait a second. 9.5. There's a 12 inch. What comes after the 11? No. 10.5. I don't know. 12 inch, 8, 10, and 12. That's what they are. So a 10 and a 12. 3 deep bubble bowl. I was trying to figure out the sizes of the bubble bowls that we shipped out. Don't say the name to who.
8, 10, and 12.
Are they 3? None of them are 4s?
Not yet.
Okay. So we have somebody that will be coming to ClayCon that is making some things with the 10 and the 12 inch bubble bowl. So there will be samples of what you can do with this by somebody that I think you all know and love. So that'll be left as a surprise for ClayCon. But these bubble bowls, love these bubble bowls. And though these bubble bowls are coming out in a different shape as well. I would love the 4 deep that curves up. Are you talking, Rachel, the bubble bowl that comes around and up? Those will be available. Those should be available at ClayCon. And then, of course, afterwards. So let's flip this bad boy out. And then I'm going to show it to you. And then, again, this is a first run. But we're working on things that are just totally out of the box and much harder to be duplicated. I won't be at ClayCon, so I'll get stuff after. Yes, and that's okay. So let's get this last video in real quick. Now, this is going to be a little wet to be flipping, but I'm going to do it anyway because I want you to see the shape. And then I'm going to put it back together so it can dry properly. I'm going to just run my needle tool underneath here so I can get this out. I can feel that my circle stayed in, but that's okay. I just popped it right off. Move that out of my way for a minute. I have a spare template here. I'm going to set on top and kind of look and see. Yeah, that looks pretty level. And I'm going to flip this. Let me move that little round thing. Pull this back over here. And I'm going to set this right here. And I'm going to take this off. And already you can see how just gorgeous this is. Now, as you're watching, let me make sure I did have that on. Yes. This is still wet. But I'm gonna pop this out. This should sit in here for a while longer. But look at the shape of that. It is a curved round. Oh, I didn't want to turn it because I wanted to put it right back where it was. Can you see? Can you see the curve? Can you see the curve in that? Oh. Wow, that's gorgeous. I'm gonna see if I can stick this back in here. I don't even know which way it went. Should be pretty even. This might not be a good idea. I might just leave this out and just keep an eye on it. But just come around and lightly. Do you see that is all the cleanup there is because of the work we did on it before? Come right in there. Come right in there. Back over here. Come right in here. Okay, so it's set up a little bit more. Can you see the way this curves and comes up from the back side? See the curve of that there? Oh, it is. I'm trying to hold this it's where I can get it in the light, where it rounds and curves. It is just, and look at the side, the height of that bowl. A full, well, let me measure the actual bowl now that it's setting up on a foot. That is 3.5 inches tall, guys. 3.5 inches tall. And imagine if you put texture in here, you know, there's no cutting the sides. You just put it over the form, flop that big old slab of clay, and there you have it. So, I was going to say something else about that. Oh, well, again, like I said, I'm not a line person. So we will be removing those sharp corners because I don't like the line. And I'm not real excited I mean, you can't, it shows a little more on the camera, but you really don't see it that much. There's not, you can't hardly even feel it. So it wouldn't even dent in your texture, that thing on the bottom. It's just more of a ghost look line. But these lines, I'm not excited about the depth of those lines. So we'll take those off. Renee, face, red, heart shape. I'm not sure what you're talking about on that, but we do have in this rounded, I do have the shape of my whimsy heart in this rounded form, kind of like, where are those of you that are founders that got heart dishes? I have a form like that, very close to that. I don't know if it'll be ready by ClayCon, but it'll be ready shortly after that. So our new style is going to be rounded. Also in this, I have another couple shapes that will be this type of thing. So love the rounded square. Yeah, it's just, I have a salad bowl that I use all the time that a friend of mine made. I actually bought out his studio when he retired. His name is Ron, and it's the salad bowl I use for my salad, and that's what I was trying to mimic. But this is a big salad, so I will do probably a 2 for a salad bowl, but the 4, what a dish. And what I was gonna make this for that special person, this is too tall for what that was gonna be as well. So back to square one on that as far as that goes. But Misty, what was the OMG for, dear? I'm not sure what that was. Anyway, I do want to thank everybody for their patience on our orders. Yeah, we dug a little, well, we didn't dig a hole. We had a sick family member, and it is what it is. But we did the right thing. We shut down orders at the worst time of year, guys. That's our income, and we stopped it. Oh, the heart. Okay. And so when we get back after the first of the year, we will be doing whatever orders we get at ClayCon. We will be taking care of those before we open the website. You're going to see a difference when we open the website. There's going to be a lot gone, but a lot there. Well, that kind of didn't make sense. I'm wanting to completely change my whole website. I don't want to use Squarespace anymore. Their shipping is a killer. We can't control that. It's how they calculate it. So I'm really wanting to use a whole new website. So I'm working on that, and yeah, all my spare time. We are going to have, if you didn't get the October box, we're going to have October box boxes at ClayCon, and I'm trying to get 2 new boards. So we're going to have a variety of 5 or 6 rolling pins, a variety of a few boards, and a variety of a couple new shapes. And that's it. We're not going to be taking like onesie twosies of everything. If you didn't get the October box, that will be at ClayCon. Any other questions I can answer? Oh, let me tell you. So if you're a slabber or a founder, I had planned on going live in that group. We have a video tutorial from one of our very own slab members, Sherry Castanon. And I'm waiting for one video that I was missing, and she may have put that in there. Let me see if she sent it. Nope, I don't see that it was sent. I'm missing one little video out of that, and I could actually show it without it because it's something that we all do all the time. But it's her video, and I want her to have all of her parts and pieces there. So once I get that one video, her presentation is together and ready. So, slabbers and founders, be watching for a post on that, and we'll do a special live on that, debuting Sherry Castanon's teaching video. So, I think that's all I have. I will try to start putting out. My chief focus was getting caught up on orders. I've got most of what I make done, and I'm waiting on Mr. Wilson because these are 3 or 4 days worth of touching stages, and then an hour just in the actual cutting of this. You know, rolling pins, you know, these take a good 45 minutes to an hour each, and putting them on the other machine. These are not lasered, and these kinds of things run on the same machine. So looks like we'll probably be getting another one of those. So watch for who just packed their car. Oops, hold on, guys. It's Facebook user. Just packed my car. Just pack up my car before you go and do the vending hall. Yeah. All right. So at ClayCon, we'll be giving a special discount for those of you that are there, because as mentioned before, you know, you guys have to pay to get in there in addition to wanting to purchase products. But you do get to see the artists that are there doing demos. We have somebody that's coming that is bringing some sample pieces using the 10 and 12 of this. I had planned on making a lot of stuff to take as samples to see the textures and happening. I will be bringing clay though, so that you can see what these look like rolled on the clay. And I don't know if you can see this, but right here and right here, these that stick up, when you roll those, oh, they're so gorgeous in the clay. Anyway, anybody have any other questions before I jump off of here? You slabbers, you fabbers. I mean, you slabbers, you founders. Be sure and watch for the notice for Sherry's debut of her lidded jars. Oh, Mr. Wilson. Y'all see Mr. Wilson's comment in there? Where did it go? Maybe he just put it. That y'all get to see him. I'm sure you guys are all coming to ClayCon to see Mr. Wilson, right? Mr. Wilson is hardly walking these days. He has hurt his knee and he can't even hardly walk. We can't dance. We can't do anything. We don't have time anyway. But we can't even go dancing because he is injured. All right, everybody. We will see you soon. And thank you for your patience. Orders will be coming. If you're a founder and have an order in, your founder's box will be put in that order. If you get an order from this day forward, if you're a founder and haven't received your founder's box and it is not in that order, please message me. That means we missed your name. But otherwise, from this day forward, some of you already got your founder's boxes. But those that didn't, as you get your new orders, you should get your founder's box in there and your October box if you ordered that in addition. So it'll be a big box. All right, guys. See y'all later.